report unless they're a criminal. Unless they're a criminal.
I enjoy your Twitter. It gets lively in the responses.
It blows me away. I just, the people, just how I think people are hypocritical and just say one thing one day, say the opposite the next, whatever gets them through the moment.
Yes, both sides.
But I just, the illegal thing, it's like, this is a weird analogy. It's like homosexuals and transgender. Like, people think this is new. Like, transgender's been around since mankind's been around. Men dressing as women, women dressing as men, thinking they're the opposite sex. I'm not saying as overt as it is today, but it's been going on forever. Homosexuality since day one of mankind.
I thought Mick Foley had something like transgender alter ego when you said mankind. That's what came in my head.
Nice.
But you mean actual mankind. Okay.
Yes. Since I mean, how long's man been around? 200,000 years?
Yes.
For 200,000 years, there's been transgender human beings. There's been gay human beings for 200,000 years, as long as man's been around.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's only 200,000 years, which gives you an idea of, like, folks think like dinosaur and man, same time. Dinosaurs were 65 million years ago, okay? So I don't know, instead of time, or think of just dollars. Mario has $65 million. I have 200,000. Is there a slight difference in that? I have a fifth of a million. He's got 65 million. No, man's been around 200,000 years approximately, and dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago. So yeah, man and dinosaurs. We weren't riding T-Rexes. The Earth's not 6,000 years old. I love the Bible. I have no problem with the Bible. That's my faith. That's my personal belief. Jesus is my guy. I'm a New Orleans Christian Catholic. But, a lot of it is you don't literally translate it. Otherwise, it'd be an eye for an eye and, things of that nature. Cutting off people's hands for stealing. 6,000 years old. We know that, we're not 6,000 years old. Hell, I'm half Syrian, Lebanese. That group of people are 6,000 years old. Corey Johnson with you on a Wednesday. No, the people think like this illegal immigration or migrant workers is something new, like it just popped up last week. They've been here since day one, since America started, since day one. No, they keep the machine moving efficiently and effectively. They only help. They do not hurt. They only help. 766-9480. Love to hear from you on this Wide Open Wednesday edition of the program. Wide Open Wednesday, extra carte blanche for you. You're the show producer. Whatever you want to discuss, take the show in any direction you like. Coming right back.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
As New Orleans as coffee in the morning and as New Orleans is coffee in the morning and raw oysters for lunch. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Yeah, you're right. Wide open Wednesday, 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you. Thanks so much for joining us. What do you think about this over-aggressive ICE, in my opinion? Happy with it? These folks are illegals. The more people that are deported, the better? Or do you feel this is a political move, that it's a created problem, that illegals and migrant workers 99.9% of the time are not a hindrance, a problem, only a benefit, only help us? No, I say migrant worker more than illegal. I don't know. I think about post-New Orleans Katrina. Could you imagine if that happened right now with ICE? We'd still be rebuilding. Instead, tens of thousands of Latinos pounced on New Orleans like ants on a sugar cube. Did white and black and Vietnamese New Orleanians that were already here and Latinos already here pick themselves up by their bootstraps, as we like to say? Of course we all did. What else are you going to do? Just crawl in a hole, ball up like Jim Baker in the corner, crying like a baby? You'll have to Google Jim Baker, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx. He has 2 Ks in Baker.
All right.
I believe. 2 Ks, if I'm not mistaken. You just give up? No. But those Latinos came in and kicked butt and took names. I'm living downtown in what is now the South Market District. I lived in this building. A lot of folks knew it as the Houdat Shack. It sat alone in a parking lot, my house. Behind me was old, I think it was Duty and Hanks, repair shop downtown. One morning, I'm out on my rear balcony, and I just see like a dozen Latinos peeling back the metal, siding of the building and coming out of that building with like hard hat and vests and, sweatshirt and like a bag of food and going off to rebuild the city. So one evening I went over there and kind of peeked in there. There were like 50 Latinos living in the Duty Hanks repair shop. They somehow got the water running and were showering and bathing in there. They had a bathroom, a toilet in there. They were living in an automotive repair shop for months. And I knew about it, so local authorities knew about it, and we're like, those people are amazing. They're helping to rebuild our city. They're living in an automotive repair shop where no citizen would ever live for a day. Maybe like right after the storm, like shelter on my head, wow, running water and a toilet, but that's about it. They wouldn't be there for months. It would have been temporary. That was their home until they left to go back to their real home. And they were here for like 6 months straight, kicking butt and taking names. So that's okay. It's a storm. We want illegals, but during normal working conditions, we don't. I'm here to tell you when what's hitting the fan like a storm, illegals are going to flock here and save our rear end. When everything's just fine, they're part of the oil of our greased machine, the U.S. economy, our capitalistic economy. They've been here since day one, 766-9480, and they're never leaving. I mean, what's the estimate? I've heard estimates of 20 million. I think those numbers are exaggerated. I mean, some folks are like, Biden let in 20 million. Well, really? Okay, the population's 340 million. So what would 20 million be, like 6-7% of the population Biden let in? So I think the realistic numbers are around somewhere between 12 and 15 million migrant workers or illegals in the United States. Some folks say north of 20 million. I don't think the numbers are anywhere near that. Lower percentage of crime committed by that group than U.S. citizens. All they do is work and grind and do the crappy stuff. So I don't know. What's the problem? 766-9480. 766-9480. I think it's sad that Kenner is canceling the Hispanic Heritage Festival because of a fear of ICE raids at the festival. Pathetic. 84 arrested at an ICE raid at Delta Downs in Vinton, Louisiana. What a waste of time. Who do you think's working in the stalls at racetracks all around America? I mean, I don't. It's crazy. 766-9480. You remember the Untouchables movie? You remember Sean Connery's like, we're going to the post office for the liquor raid. Elliot Ness, Kevin Costner's kind of all worried about it. And he's like, Mr. Ness, knowing where the booze is isn't the problem. It's like, who's going to cross Capone? I hope ICE isn't doing any kind of research on where to go to find illegals, because anybody can lead you to illegals. Like I said earlier, go to Colorado and a meat packing plant. Go to upstate New York and a dairy farm. Go to, Minnesota or Kansas or Idaho and a pig farm. Go to California and a regular farm, vegetable, fruit farm, picking fruits and vegetables. Go down to Florida, go to a citrus farm. Anyone, anytime. You'll be able to arrest some illegals, some migrant workers. 766-9480. 2 judges spent $48,000. Judge Gravois, name's Judge Gravois, and Judge Mark Johnson. Gravois went to Napa Valley in New York, spent about $48,000. Mark Johnson went to Hawaii and Dominican Republic and Jamaica. Apparently likes the beach. He spent $48,000, all reimbursed. Why are we paying for any judge to travel anywhere that's a Louisiana judge? Seriously. Continuing education, pay for it yourself, Judge. Seriously, I don't get it. It's mind-blowing. Why are we paying for judges to go to seminars and, it's Junket Cantrell. That's what that is. Hey, Lebanon's Cafe is open till 9:30, 7 days a week. They open up at 11 a.m. They go straight through till 9:30. You can go right now. Lebanon's Cafe, so good. Lamb chop, shish kebab. Get excited for Lebanon's. This guy is. Now it's on. Now it's
My
on.
bad.
Oh, boy.
All kinds of stuff going on.
Where's
here.
Blue Boy barking?
He should be barking. I don't like it. Skipped the whole
Oh, he's just laying there. He's looking at you.
break.
He's looking at you, Mario, brother. Don't throw him a treat. It's not going to bark if you throw him a treat. Blue Boy, why aren't you barking? All right, I'll take Blue Boy's role. No, you just lay there, buddy. You can just lay there. 5 o'clock powwow next. Don't move, New Orleans. It is 5 p.m.
It is. Brake's not firing. Don't know why.
You can turn off the mics.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's called more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint. Paint supply.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday, 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Thanks so much for joining us. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. The 5 o'clock powwow on this wide open Wednesday. Speaking of, as New Orleans as it gets, 5 o'clock powwow on this wide open Wednesday brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Looking for something tonight for dinner? That is a dilemma in New Orleans. I mean, I remember Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx. I used to go to Saints training camp back in the day when I did sports talk radio. This is like more a Jim Finks era, like the 90s in La Crosse, Wisconsin, before you were born.
La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Yep, the old cheese league, they called it. Because you had the Packers up there. You had Chicago, Minnesota, and Mankato. These Wisconsin schools had good infrastructure, so you could stay in the dorms and practice on the fields, and the weather was good. Anyway, you know, this 30 years ago, there was Piggy's Barbecue, which still exists on Front Street in La Crosse, Wisconsin, which is pretty good, Piggy's. And then there was the Freight House, which is their high-end restaurant. Then there was this Chinese restaurant, which was really mediocre. And I would go down there and get like pepper steak, something real basic, General's chicken, you know. It was really mediocre. And there was this Italian joint that had this appetizer, Roman chicken. It was these thinly paneed chicken breasts that were flash fried, and they were damn good. Everything else at that Italian joint sucked.
Okay.
And there was some place for burger night. So there were 5 choices in La Crosse. I went to those 5 places, just rinse and repeat. Lunch, dinner, rinse. Every year I went 3 years in a row. I'd try other places and they sucked. I was like, I'm not going back there. There's a place called Tom's Turkey Express. I was like, I know I'm in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Everything on the menu is turkey. And this I want to go, you are a turkey, dude. This is what you came up with? Tom's Turkey Express no longer exists, but it was terrible. So no, it's like, you know, there are 5 choices. It's not much of a dilemma. New Orleans, we sit back and go, damn, where am I going to dinner tonight? And it's 100 choices, and they're all good. I'm going to make it easy for you. This is as New Orleans as it gets. Katie's in Mid-City. Everybody loves Katie's. Plus, you got to love what Scott Craig does, seeking out that local fresh seafood. And when I get him on the program on Fridays a lot, he'll tell you, I these flounder fillets were beautiful. I got 15 of them. When they're gone, they're gone. I got 17 speckled trout fillets. I got 13 soft shell crab. Hey, I was lucky. I found some pompano, 16 pompano fillets. When they're gone, they're gone. That's every day, every night at Katie's in Mid-City. So an expansive menu full of all kind of goodies, but a lot of great local fresh seafood specials that you get only that night because the seafood was fresh that morning and there were 15 fillets and they're gone. They go that night. As New Orleans as it gets, Iberville, corner Telemachus, about 2 blocks behind Angelo Bricato's ice cream joint on Carrollton. It's Katie's. Get over there tonight for dinner. Katie's in Mid-City. 5 o'clock powwow on this wide open Wednesday, brought to you by Katie's. Hey, the Supreme Court upholds a Tennessee state ban on transgender minors from using puberty blockers and hormone therapy. 6-3 vote. All the conservatives voted to uphold the ban. The 3 liberal justices voted to, say the ban was illegal. I think we've got a pretty good European model on this thing. I think we've got too many people that are adults now that are either gay, straight, bisexual, that had a problem with their sexuality when they were 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 years old. Didn't know, couldn't figure things out. It's not so easy for everybody. You know, I never had any problem with my sexuality. I'm heterosexual. I like women. It just was easy. You know, I would hope if I were gay, I'd be brave enough and courageous enough to come out early and embrace that I'm gay, you know? But being heterosexual, the skids are greased for, you know, Mario Brothers, we got it easy, you know? We got it easy. There's no thinking. There's no process. It's what's accepted as, quote, normal. It's what most people are doing. So we got it easy. But you've got too many adults that look back and go, I might have done puberty blockers or hormone therapy. And it's a child that is growing. And they're pumping chemicals into that child, not really knowing what the outcome's going to be. Is it a puberty blocker? Is it a hormone therapy? Sure. But while every human being is different, growing at different speeds, different rates, this isn't safe. This isn't smart. This isn't the way to go. And there's too many examples of European countries that have abandoned it. And there's too many examples of human beings in America that say, I might have tried that because I was a child and I was confused and I had no business making any kind of decision like that because I'm a child and I'm confused and my brain's not fully developed and I'm physically not fully developed. And when I became an adult, I realized I'm heterosexual. I realized I'm gay. I realized I'm bisexual. I realized I wanted to trans over. That's what all of these adults are saying, that it would be a major mistake at age 8 or 10 or 12 or 14 to, you know, have hormone therapy or puberty blockers. When you become an adult, you can make those decisions. Hell, before that, I'm sure there's a lot of kids that are 6, 8, 10, 12 that are, I shouldn't say I'm sure, I know there are a lot of kids that are like, I'm gay. I like boys. I like girls, whatever. No, heterosexual people were lucky. You don't have to think about it. I always say it. The skids are greased for me. I'm a white, male, heterosexual. I mean, if you don't think the skids are greased for you as a white male heterosexual in America, then you're just in denial. Seriously. I mean, I don't want to get in all this white entitlement and all that, but I never worry about, you know, being discriminated against. And if I am, it's some rarity and I don't give a crap about it because it's not like an everyday thing that's going to happen all the time. The opposite. And I've been discriminated against. I got arrested one time. Got arrested 30 years ago. I missed a court date or my driver's license was expired. Something stupid you do at like 20. And this black cop, male, black female cop, they arrested me. And I remember getting in the car and going, handcuffs behind my back, going, guys, really? I mean, my license is expired or I missed a court date. I mean, can't you just give me a ticket or whatever? And we'll go from there. And they're just like, we follow the law. And they're like, you know, so anyway, this was like around Carrollton and St. Charles Avenue by Camilla Grill. I was going to Camilla Grill to get something to eat and got arrested. So they drive me down St. Charles Avenue and they get to Napoleon and they hook that illegal left off St. Charles on Napoleon to cut through to Broad Street. No, the all part was dumbass Corey. I thought you guys said you follow the law. You just took an illegal left. They pull the car over on Napoleon, Mario Brothers, off the side of the road. Right then and there, I'm like, you're getting baton beaten in the lawn right here in front of this house, dude. You're the stupidest human being ever. Handcuffs behind your back, in the back of a police car, going to jail. You're going to mouth off to the cops. And I didn't mouth off like, you know, it's 2 PM, dude. I'm dead sober. It's nothing, you know. I was like, I thought you guys said you follow the law. You just took an illegal turn right there. They both glared back at me where I just like swallowed hard and said in my head what I just said out loud. Corey, you're the stupidest human being on planet Earth, you know? And then they just drove off and, you know, went into the jail. But no, those cops were like, from what I could gather, they weren't into some moral, ethical code of following the law. They were like, this white boy who seems privileged to us, he's going to jail. We're going to bring him to jail. I definitely felt that it was a bigoted situation. But do I go, gosh, black people are racist or bigoted? I got to watch it? No, I'm not, because I'm a white male heterosexual. The skids are greased for me. This was a fluke. I just ran into the two wrong cops that saw me, and kind of a conservative looking guy, hair parted on the side, dressed normal, no tattoos, no piercings, no facial hair, nothing out of the ordinary, just a conservative looking guy, and assumed, I'm some white, elite, conservative, entitled person, and brought me to jail. But I remember I went to on Claiborne, the Food Assassin, to get some lamb chops right off Claiborne by Elysian Fields, right off the I-10 exit ramp on Claiborne. I went in there and I was treated like a champ. The wait staff, honey, sugar, all black. The people behind the bar telling me, what they're cooking, all that. This one dude walks in and is just glaring at me like, what are you doing in here? And I didn't glare back at him, but I'm just looking at him thinking like, same thing you're doing in here, dude. Grabbing some macaroni and cheese and lamb chops. That's what I'm doing in here. I'm a New Orleanian. This is my city. These are my people. Black, white, Latino, Vietnamese, I don't care. Gay, straight, male, female. New Orleanians calling me sugar and honey, they're my people. So no, I've felt it before, but it ain't like a black person feeling it from white people, and it isn't sustaining, and it isn't all the time, and it isn't every day. No, the skids are greased. I'm white, male, heterosexual. Got it easy in America.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. prepared with experience, depth, knowledge, and a history in the game. Corey Johnson.
Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48.
I am the smartest man alive!
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. You know, yesterday, every Tuesday in the 4 o'clock hour, we get Dan Reel on, The Real Deal. And Dan was like, Corey, I love coming on. You take on all kind of topics. You're not scared to give an opinion. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, and I were just talking during the break. I mean, I talk about stuff that I know about. If I don't know about them, hey, let's discuss fission. Mario Brothers, those atoms and protons, man. I mean, we got to get a neutron going. I mean, you know, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Fission, fusion, hey, it's all the same thing. You know, I have no idea. Well, I kind of know a little bit about it, but I'm not going to sit there and discuss protons and neutrons and atoms and fusion and fission because I don't know enough about it. I would sound stupid. So what I'm talking about, a few things. I can have an opinion. I can say I like strawberry ice cream better than Rocky Road. That's just an opinion. But when I tell you they're ice cream, that's a fact. So I like facts. I try to stick with facts. And then I give opinions based off of those facts. And you can agree or disagree with the opinions, but the facts are usually facts. Do I make a mistake every now and then? Of course, like anybody. But if I'm talking about something, I usually have an idea of what I'm talking about. I'm familiar with the topic. And I learned this like 2-3 weeks into talk radio, literally. I don't know. It's okay to say, I don't know. Great question. I don't know the answer to that. A lot of people get on radio or television. They feel they have to have the answer to everything, like they're Yahoo or Google. You know, I don't know is fine to say. I'm not scared of say that. And another thing I love about talk radio, when I say I don't know, there's someone out there watching or listening that knows. Could be like ACL surgery on a knee. I think the medial collateral, depending on the significance of the tear, it can heal itself. And ACL would need surgery. Let's go to the phone lines. Dr. Thompson, Corey, you're absolutely right. But also a medial could need surgery, you know, whatever. He's an expert. He does knee surgery. So we're going to get an answer. So yeah, I like facts. I like fact-based premises, just basic logic, fact-based premises leading to a logical fact-based conclusion. I don't like ready, fire, aim, shooting from the hip. I'm emotional, obviously, but I try to have logic in the brain overrule emotion. Kenner canceled their Hispanic Heritage Festival fearing ICE raids. Isn't that terrible? 84 arrested in an ICE raid at Delta Downs in Vinton, Louisiana. Isn't that terrible? Migrant workers have been part of the fabric of America, part of our economy, part of capitalism since day one. 230 plus years of this. It's nothing new. And these illegal aliens, migrant workers, commit less crime percentage-wise than American citizens. So they're only a benefit. It's like 99 out of 100 things they do are a benefit. You get the one, bad apple that commits some violent crime. Again, less of a percentage than U.S. citizens. They keep vegetables and fruits and chicken and pork and beef and milk, things like that, at reasonable prices, affordable prices. Get rid of the migrant workers, get rid of the illegals. I mean, if you could snap your fingers, and a lot of people would like, do it. I think they're like 12 to 15 million illegals. Some people say north of 20. If you could snap your fingers and have them go, a lot of folks would be like, hell yeah. And the country would go into not a recession, a depression. They are the grease that lubes the machine. They keep the machine running efficiently. These migrant workers, these illegal aliens. So ICE raids, going into like the Midwest and deporting a woman who's a waitress at a beloved cafe, who's married and has kids, and they deport her. No, a lot of these conservative folks in Iowa that knew that woman and go to that cafe, they're like, this is ridiculous. We thought you were going to be deporting criminals, violent criminals. So, no, I am pro-migrant workers, pro-illegal aliens. And it's impossible for there to be a process where all of them become legal. Because, like I say, there's 12 to 15 million of them. Some people say over 20 million. And it doesn't matter if they're legal or not. It is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. They're human beings. They're here, and they're doing the dirty work for us. Why so hell-bent on them being legal? You make them legal, you pay them more money. You give them health benefits, a lot of other things. And then everything goes up in price. That's the beauty of the migrant worker. They're working for pennies on the dollar compared to citizens. And they want to do it. They end up staying here. They end up getting married. They end up having kids that are U.S. citizens that end up going to college and don't go anywhere near the fields or the meatpacking plant. And then some of the kids are so successful, they pull their parents out of the field and the meatpacking plant. The American dream. Now, folks are infatuated with illegal. That term with these people, they're migrant workers. Are they illegal? Yeah. By law, yeah. And it is purely political. They only benefit us, but politicians are smart. The way you win an election, you don't tell people the problems, because then the people have to deal with the problem. Like, hey, we all have to sacrifice a little to move forward. That's what a real leader would say, especially someone who's like running for New Orleans mayor or Louisiana governor. We're backwards ass. We're dysfunctional. We're all going to have to swallow hard. It's going to be painful, but that's, take a step backwards to move several forward. No politician wants to say that. Instead, they come up with make-believe stuff that's not real, like illegal aliens. And then you get mad at them. And then they take it up another level. They're criminals, and you're really mad at them. Then they say, they took your job, your manufacturing job. And all of it's nonsense. All of it's a lie. They're only a benefit. But it is great fodder for politicians. And the people eat it up. The people eat it up. I mentioned yesterday, Blake Miguez is running for U.S. Senate. He's a state senator. And by the way, refuses to call me back or email reply. I've been trying to get him on the show for a few months now. Just not available. Did you see his commercial? He starts off with, I'm a firearms expert, like a, sharpshooter. Proceeds to have these paint cans on a table with, like, I guess, problems in Louisiana or things that Bill Cassidy's not doing right. And he proceeds to fling the paint can up in the air and then shoots the paint can. Then at the end, he has an AR-15 and he's rattling off shots with that, blowing stuff up. He's running for U.S. Congress. But he knows that coming up with the issues and what's wrong with Louisiana, our coastline's disappearing. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to fix education. I'm going to fix infrastructure. That doesn't do anything. No one gives a crap about that. People want bacon sizzling on a skillet. And saying you're going to fix infrastructure or fix our disappearing coast or education or create jobs ain't bacon on a skillet. That's just boring. But shooting the gun, that's exciting. And his base eats it up. These right-wing wacko evangelicals in Louisiana, they see the dude shooting a gun like, yeah, shooting a gun. He's pro-guns. Yeah, I'm voting for him. And what's that going to do for the evaporating coast, the economy, education, or jobs? Nothing. It's all political crap. And people want to eat it up because, I was talking a minute ago about facts. People want to believe what they want to believe or what they hope is true, not what is. So they see this guy shooting a gun and they're like, yeah, man, he's pro-Second Amendment, whatever. They don't care about the economy or their kids getting an education or any of that. They just like that Blake Miguez shoots his gun. Anyway, that's politics at its worst. That kind of crap, that no substance, just a bunch of nonsense, throwing bacon on a hot skillet and watching it sizzle and smelling that bacon, and everybody loves bacon. No, the illegals is Blake Miguez with the gun amplified times 1,000. I remember a commercial a few years ago. I forgot who was running. It was local, too. It wasn't a national race. It was like a state Senate race, and it literally shows, you'll like this, Mario Brothers, aka Latinx. It's your people. It shows a chain link fence with like a slit down the middle, like where they cut it open. And it's a bunch of dudes in like blue jeans wearing blue flannel shirts with a blue bandana or a red flannel shirt with a red bandana. Mm-hmm. I just want to know the Latinos that did the commercial and when they got paid and were like, dude, you're kind of selling out your own people. Yeah. Or I don't know, maybe it's like, this is before your time, they had this commercial, you can Google it if you want, Mario Brothers. You can just you can Google litter, crying Indian. Google that. Okay. Litter, crying Indian. And then go to images and tell me what you see. All right. You see it looks like a Native American Indian wearing a full headdress. He's got a pretty big nose too, right?
Yeah, beat up face.
Yeah, beat up face, right? Mm-hmm. He's Italian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's an Italian guy.
That's so funny.
No, he's not even Native American Indian. He's a full-blown Italian. Man. And they just made him. I mean, I'm Mediterranean. That whole region, it's olive skin, black hair. You could be Latino. You could be from Spain. You could be, Arab like me. You could be North African. Mm-hmm. You could be Italian. You could be, any of that, Greek, any of that region. They're all olive skin, black hair. So that's your olive skin, black hair dude. They made him a Native American Indian.
Wow.
So I'm wondering if the guys wearing the blue and the red, like gang, man, we're gang members. I'm wondering like if they were Latino or they like, Mediterranean or Italian or Greek or something, so they could, do the commercial.
Nah, my stepfather's like full-blooded Guatemalan, but he's like light-skinned. So when we go to Mexico or Guatemala or something, all like the tourist people,
he's a gringo.
They're like, hey, you want some of this or that? Like,
and they start rattling off perfect Spanish. They're like, whoops.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoops, not a gringo. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, too funny. Hey, every day, this show on radio, on television, on YouTube. Yeah, we're on YouTube. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost a thing. It's always brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra, the Car Corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10. Right on the corner, right on the price. And don't forget about Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood if you have a business and you need a commercial truck, van, or SUV. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. What's wrong with you?
I immediately regret this decision.
Every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx. Boy, we were talking about Latinos during the break, and then it turned into wrestling talk. How the hell did that happen? I guess we were talking, about the Arab, post 9/11, the Arab manager? That was it, huh, Mario Brothers?
Yes.
So they had to get rid of him?
Because of London bombings.
Yeah. Yep. Mid-South Wrestling, when before all the big major groups, all the big groups, if you look at their history, McMahon's group and whatever the competitor group.
WCW.
They bought up a bunch of smaller groups like 30, 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Mid-South was based out of, I don't know where they were headquartered, but a lot of the stuff went on here. Municipal Auditorium, the St. Bernard Civic Center. Now is the era of the Junkyard Dog, Ted DiBiase, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ernie Ladd. I knew Ernie Ladd as a wrestler. I go to the Senior Bowl and it's Ladd People's Stadium. I'm like, wow, like Ernie Ladd? They're like, no, it's named after Ernie Ladd. I'm like, the wrestler? Like, dude, he played for, he played in the SWAC, maybe Grambling or, Jackson State. Well, no, I mean, if it's Ladd, he's probably played for Alabama State.
Yeah.
Come on, Corey, use your brain. He played a SWAC school out in Alabama. So I'm assuming Alabama State Ernie Ladd played for?
Go,
Mario, go.
College. He went to Grambling, yeah.
He went to Grambling.
1957 through 60.
Wow. All right, he must be a Mobile native then.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Born in Mobile?
He was born in Rayville, Louisiana, actually.
Ernie Ladd?
Yeah, Ernest L. Ladd. Nicknamed the Big Cat.
Yeah, what's the connection? Why is it Ladd Peebles Stadium?
That's a good question.
Isn't it Ladd Peebles in Mobile?
Yes.
Isn't it?
I believe so. Verifying now.
Ladd Peebles, Peebles, I think.
Ladd Peebles. Yeah, Ladd Peebles Stadium in Mobile.
All right, I'm going to jump ahead of you. Maybe it isn't Ernie Ladd.
Yeah, maybe I'm looking at the wrong one.
Who is Ladd Peebles Stadium named after?
Ladd
Peebles Stadium, Mobile. Ernest Ladd, a local banker, and E.B. Peebles. So
died in 41.
There you go. So it has nothing to do with. Maybe that's the dad. I mean, it's Ernest Ladd.
I could see why that'd be really confusing. Yeah.
Wow.
Those SWAC schools.
Let's see, Ernest Ladd. Anyway, all right. That needle that says ratings is plummeted to 0 again, Mario Brothers. No, we're talking wrestling, Mid-South wrestling. By the way, that St. Bernard Civic Center is the Fred Segure Civic Center. That was my dad's cousin, Fred Segure. He was a very honorable man. Very successful, too. He built Buccaneer Village, Carolyn Park down in Chalmette, Wrigley's Estates, but so humble. Just a really sweet guy. Old cousin Fred, as we called him. I'd go down to Chalmette in front of his house on General de Gaulle, and we watched the Jupiter Parade when I was a kid. 766-9480 is the phone number. You can dial us up and say, Corey, I didn't give a crap about the last 3 minutes of programming. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Kenner canceling the Hispanic Heritage Festival, fearing ICE raids. I think that's pathetic. ICE, go arrest illegal immigrants that are criminals, not illegal immigrants that are migrant workers. Stop arresting contributors to the American way of life. 84 arrested in an ICE raid in Vinton, Louisiana. Going to friggin' Vinton. Most of the state doesn't even know where Vinton is located. They go to Delta Downs and they arrest 84 illegals. I'm probably working stalls and stuff like that. Now, 2 of them have a criminal record. Those are the 2 you arrest. The other 82, you leave them alone. Jeez, it makes no sense. I don't get it. What's going to happen is ICE is going to make a mistake, and they're going to raid the wrong conservative-owned business. And most of the places they're raiding are conservative-owned, like farmers, meat processing plants, dairy farms, folks that own orchards, things of that nature. Most of them, not all, most are conservative Republicans. That's just the business those types of people gravitate towards. You can Google like jobs that liberals have, jobs that conservatives have mostly. I mean, bankers, entrepreneurs, those are conservatives. Musicians, artists, actors, those are liberals. Mostly, they're exceptions. So most farmers, is there some bleeding heart liberal farmer out there? Of course. But most farmers are conservative. No, they're going to go raid the wrong place. It's going to be some powerful conservative who's wealthy and has deep pockets and influences elections and can sway groups of people. And they're going to go in and they're going to wrongly, like all of these raids, wrongly just go get regular people that happen to be migrant workers. And that is going to create a hellstorm. And 2 things are going to happen. 1, they're going to let all those workers go back. And 2, they're going to stop the over-the-top ICE raids. It's inevitable because the people they're targeting, the businesses that are being affected are mostly conservative-owned businesses. These aren't liberals, employing a bunch of illegals. Mostly. Because I mentioned when we're talking about farms, meat processing plants, dairy farms, these are conservative-owned mostly. So no, these ICE raids are silly. 84 arrested at Delta Downs. And they said 2 of the 84 had a criminal background. Like, that makes it successful for the other 82 that we arrested. How much money does that cost? Taxpayers. And then what's the end result? What's the end result? Deporting all these people? How much does that cost? And if 84 are arrested and 82 of them are just normal people and only 2 are criminals, how much of a waste of time is that? Kenner canceling their Hispanic Heritage Festival. How much of an economic impact for Kenner is that festival? People have to buy food. They have to buy drinks. They have to set up their booths. They have to pay for bands. They have to pay for the tent people. They have to pay for security, all the things. It's part of an economy. People are coming. They're spending their money. Now it doesn't exist. So millions of dollars, it might be north of $10 million. Who knows? There is a definitive economic impact that is going away because Kenner is canceling their Hispanic Heritage Festival, fearing an ICE raid. Now, I got no problem with ICE raids. When you're raiding and you're arresting criminals and violent criminals. Petty criminals, I wouldn't even worry about. Look what we do in America. We've decriminalized marijuana because it's a waste of time, waste of police's time, waste of jail time. Majority of citizens aren't for it. It's a waste of time. Arresting people that contribute to capitalism, American society, it's a waste of time. It just costs us money. So all of this is going to come to a head eventually. It's not just going to continue. The worst part about it, it's not affecting any bottom line. As far as getting rid of illegals, there's at least 12 to 15 million. A lot of the wacky right say north of 20 million. You're not going to deport 1 million. Donald Trump could have 5 terms, and you're not going to deport 1 million people. I think Joe Biden was deporting like 350 a day on average. I think Trump's deporting like 800 a day, like a little more than double. It's not 8,000. It's not 80,000 a day. It went from Biden 350 a day to like 800 a day under Trump. This is a waste of time, a total waste of time, taxpayer money, energy, focus, and it could be detrimental. I guarantee you Delta Downs is going to have a huge economic impact. The little town of Vinton right now, some people are losing their jobs. They're going to cancel races. You arrest 82 people that are handling the dirty work at Delta Downs. They can't run the track without those people. Watch what's going to happen with Delta Downs. It's going to be an economic nightmare for Vinton. No, just like this. This one we don't know about because it didn't exist yet, but the upcoming Hispanic festival's canceled. There's going to be an economic impact in a negative way because of that. Hey, we're always getting these little afternoon thunder showers. I like it because it keeps temperatures in the 80s. I also like that back in October, Audubon Gutters put gutters on my house. Brand new gutters on my house, brand new downspouts, all featuring the Leaf Guard system. Get it and forget it. Yeah, get the Leaf Guard system and you'll never, ever have to hire someone to get on a ladder and clean your gutters. Audubon Gutters for 35 years, the Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company. All they do are gutters for your home, for your business. AudubonGutters.com. AudubonGutters.com. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X at the controls. No, it's a commonsensical show. Migrant workers, part of the fabric of America. Only a plus. They only help us. The Supreme Court upholds the state of Tennessee's ban on transgender minors from using puberty blockers and hormone therapy. The 6 conservatives on the Supreme Court voted to uphold the state ban, and the 6 liberal judges voted against it. I'm with the 6 conservative judges on this one, clearly, for 2 simple reasons. One, Europe has done this for a while, and Europe abandoned the process because it's simple. Second reason, the reason why Europe abandoned it. These are children. They are mentally not grown yet. Their mind is not fully developed. Mentally not fully developed. Physically not fully developed. There's a reason we don't let, someone vote until they're 18. They're not fully mentally developed yet. So to put in puberty blockers, hormone therapy, literally outside chemicals while a child is physically growing, mentally growing, it's a great unknown. Coupled with, you talk to adults that are straight, gay, bisexual, trans, that had confusion at 6, 8, 10, 12 years old about their sexuality. But when they grew up, they realized they were straight or gay or bisexual or trans or whatever. Those people, it's hard to find someone that's an adult that would say, yeah, I wish I would have done puberty blockers or hormone therapy.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Changing talk radio in New Orleans for the better. It's Corey Johnson on the Neutral Ground. Every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
I like facts. I like common sense. I don't care where my opinion falls. I'm not a conservative seeking out reinforcement of my conservative ideology. I'm not a liberal seeking out reinforcement of my liberal ideology. You can do that on the intranet device. You can find out that the earth is flat. A lot of people backing that. Anything you want, you can find on the intranet device. I like facts. I like logical conclusions that lead to facts. And when I take in all the information that I can, the logical conclusion I come to with this illegals, it is a political game. It's creating a problem that doesn't exist because it gets people out voting. It gets people mad, like they're a problem. They're criminals. They took my job. And it's a fake thing. It's like you're a sucker. That's what these politicians are throwing out there, a sucker for you to suck on, and you're biting on it. So, yeah, on this issue, I guess, I don't think I'm liberal about it. I just think the wacky right's insane on this. Just like I think the loony left is insane on puberty blockers and hormone therapy. I think that's crazy. It's a growing child, growing brain. You're going to chemically mess with that because the 8-year-old's confused about their sexuality? Let them decide about their sexuality later in life when they're mentally able to handle it. And like I said, going into that last break, there are too many straight, gay, trans people as adults that said, man, I was so confused. I might have done hormone therapy or puberty blockers. And who knows what that would have done to me. How that could have damaged me while I'm physically and mentally still growing. So in Europe, they've abandoned that. And rightfully so. And then, proof's in the pudding. You have these adults that will tell you that I'm gay, I'm straight, I'm bi, I'm trans. I would have done that. I would have begged my parents for that at 8, 10, 12 years old because I wasn't fully developed. I didn't know what I know now. And now I know who I am and what I am, and I'm happy with that. or unhappy with it, whatever, but they know who they are. So this one's, for me, is easy. So no, it's hard to pin me down. You can't say Corey is liberal. You can't say I'm conservative. I'm both. I'm since I'm 18, I registered as an independent. I went in there to register. I'm like, I don't want to be associated with Democrats or Republicans. That doesn't represent me. I vote both sides. I go where the facts lead. I like both sides. But also, I'm a moderate. I don't like the wacky right, and I don't like the loony left, the woke, hyper left. Look at New Orleans. Look at New Orleans government. You can't find a Republican or conservative anywhere in New Orleans government. That's not a plus. That's a negative. That's why New Orleans suffers. No, opposing thought, no difference of thinking, all loony left, hyper woke, not even like moderate Democrat. I mean, you got Joe Giarrusso, people like that are moderate Democrats, but most politicians in New Orleans, loony left, hardcore, liberal. And in the state of Louisiana, the opposite. Evangelical, wacky right-wingers, extreme, hardcore. That's Louisiana. That's why we fail, because there's rarely a opposing view to the wacky right in Louisiana. And why we fail in New Orleans, there's rarely an opposing view to the woke, to the loony left. No, it's pretty obvious. We're extreme in New Orleans, and we're extreme as a state. If we were a little more moderate, I think Louisiana would have a lot of success. So would New Orleans. I think the problem in America right now, I'm hoping in a generation or two, we look back on this time period embarrassed. And we point at the people that were dividers, these Republicans, these Democrats that refuse to cross party lines and work with the other side. Because if you do that, you're a sellout. You're working with the enemy, all of that crap. No, politics, I mean, one of the key parts of being a politician, and it's not for everybody, but the art of compromising. The art of compromising. You work out a good deal for both sides where each side gives up a little, each side gains a little bit. But this hell-bent my way or the highway thing, that's why we have this, very divisive political environment in America. And I'm hoping, I know this for a fact, the majority is like me. I mean, right now in America, it's a little over 30%, right around 30% folks that say I'm a Democrat. And it's about 30% folks that say I'm a Republican. And it's north of 40 that say independent or neither. And they might be registered Republican or Democrat, but they consider themselves a moderate, the majority. So I think the majority, and even folks that only vote Republican or only vote Democrat that are sort of not extreme, they're going to get tired of the extremes. And finally, we're going to move on where, like Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill, Ronald Reagan, a staunch conservative in that era, Tip O'Neill, a hardcore liberal in that era, they were friends. They went to dinner. They disagreed ideology-wise, politically, but they worked things out. Now, I think about the best economies in America. Reagan was president with a Democrat-led Congress. Clinton was president with a Republican-led Congress. Both presidents, both, houses, the Senate and the House, had to compromise. And we got things done and we were better for it. No, all of left or all of right is a losing proposition. All left or all right is a guaranteed losing proposition. I got a winning proposition for you. Young's Dry Cleaning, a New Orleans institution since 1940. 85 years of excellence because they care. Young'sDryCleaning.com. They're the biggest because they've always been the best. Young'sDryCleaning.com. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. This rinse and repeat weather, I'm digging it. Pop-up thunder shower. So what? Temperatures staying in the 80s in June. Kind of unprecedented. We barely creep into the 90s. The next 10 days, there's like a pop-up shower in the forecast every day. High 70s when we wake up. 88, 89, like 90 the high. Not 95, feels like 105. So I'll take this rinse and repeat weather, these 80-degree temperatures daily in June in New Orleans. Are you kidding me? A no-brainer. Arkansas eliminated UCLA last night. Coming up in about 7 minutes. LSU, Arkansas. Tigers win. They're in the championship best-of-3 series this weekend. LSU loses. They'll play Arkansas again. Tigers are in the winner's bracket. For Arkansas, it's an elimination game. They have to beat LSU twice to advance. What's that, Blue Boy? It's the 5th time LSU and Arkansas are playing this year. And you don't like SEC teams knocking off each other. This really is like a national title game. You're probably right, Blue Boy. It's going to be a tough one for the Tigers and the Backs tonight. Should be a good game. LSU, Arkansas, ESPN in about 6 minutes. Corey Johnson with you. Back tomorrow in about 22 hours.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.